The self-help industry is the biggest fraud of our time. These motivational gurus stand on stages selling you dreams wrapped in pretty packages of positive thinking and manifestation. They tell you to just believe, to just visualize, to just affirm your way to success. And you buy it because it's easier than facing the truth. It's rituals. Your demons are laughing at your vision boards. They're mocking your affirmations. Because while you're busy trying to think your way to success, they're busy keeping you trapped in the same patterns, the same fears, the same limitations that have always held you back. The mirror doesn't lie. Every morning we stand there looking at ourselves, but how many of us truly see what's staring back? That reflection holds more truth than we're often willing to admit. You see, the demons we fight aren't lurking in dark corners or hiding under our beds. They're right there in that reflection, wearing our face, speaking with our voice, living in our mind. I want to talk to you today about something that society keeps pushing under the rug. Something we're all facing but rarely discussing. Your demons aren't what you think they are. They're not the circumstances you blame. They're not your past. They're not your environment. They're not even your failures. Your demons are the lies you've accepted as truth. Let that sink in for a moment. Think about the last time you said, I can't. Think about the last time you convinced yourself that you weren't good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. Think about the last time you looked at your dreams and decided they weren't for you. Those thoughts, those self-imposed limitations, those are your real demons. And here's what makes it even more challenging. These demons speak to us in our own voice. They use our past experiences, our fears, and our insecurities to craft a narrative so convincing that we mistake it for reality. They're not shouting at us. They're whispering. They're not forcing us. They're suggesting. They're not blocking our path. They're making us doubt whether we should take the first step. You see, when a demon speaks in someone else's voice, it's easy to recognize it as an external force. But when it speaks in your voice, using your memories, your experiences, your fears, that's when it becomes dangerous. That's when it becomes personal. That's when it becomes believable. Let me share something with you. In every room I've spoken in, across different continents, cultures, and backgrounds, I've noticed one constant. People aren't afraid of failing nearly as much as they're afraid of succeeding. Success means change. Success means responsibility. Success means stepping into a version of yourself that you've never been before. Your demons know this. They know that keeping you in your comfort zone, in your familiar pain, is easier than pushing you toward unfamiliar growth. They've learned your patterns, your triggers, your weak spots. They know exactly when to remind you of that time you failed. Exactly when to bring up that criticism someone made years ago. Exactly when to question your abilities. But here's what your demons don't want you to know. Their power comes from your agreement. They can whisper all they want, but unless you nod and say, yes, you're right, they have no real power over you. Their strength from your surrender, their authority from your acceptance. Think about that for a moment. Every time you said, I can't, was it really true that you couldn't? Or did you just agree with the demon that said you couldn't? Every time you step back from an opportunity, was it really because you weren't ready? Or did you just accept the demon's suggestion that you weren't? I'm not standing here telling you that fighting your demons is easy. It's not. It's probably one of the hardest battles you ever fight. Because unlike external enemies that you can see and touch, these demons are intangible. They're embedded in your thought patterns, your daily habits, your automatic responses to life's challenges. Here's the truth that your demons don't want you to discover. You are not your thoughts. You are not your fears. You are not your past failures. You are not your limitations. You are the consciousness that can observe these thoughts, these fears, these memories. And that consciousness has the power to choose which thoughts to believe, which fears to face, which memories to use as fuel rather than chains. Your demons have been writing your story for far too long. They've been the authors of your limitations, the architects of your fears, the narrators of your doubts. But today, right here, right now, you have the power to pick up the pen and start writing your own story. Look around this room. Every single person here has their own demons. Some are fighting with the demon of procrastination, constantly pushing their dreams to someday. Others are wrestling with the demon of perfectionism, paralyzed by the fear of not being good enough. Some are battling the demon of comparison, always measuring their chapter 1 against someone else's chapter 20. You're now aware. Awareness is the first step in any transformation. When you become aware that the voice in your head telling you you can't is not your voice, it's the voice of your demon. Something powerful happens. You start to question these limitations. You start to challenge these assumptions. You start to see these demons for what they really are. Lies that you've outgrown but haven't released. Your demons don't want you to know this, but they're actually afraid of you. They're afraid of your potential. They're afraid of what happens when you stop listening to them. They're afraid of the moment you realize that their power was never real. It was borrowed from your belief in them. Think about water for a moment. Water in a pipe can only flow as far as the pipe allows it. But water in its natural state, it finds a way. It carves through mountains. It shapes continents. That's what happens when you stop letting your demons define your boundaries. When you stop accepting their limitations as your reality. I want you to do something right now. I want you to think about the biggest dream you've ever had. The one that makes your heart race. The one that your demons have been telling you is impossible. Now, I want you to ask yourself, who told you it was impossible? Was it reality? Or was it your demon? Was it truth? This is where the real fight begins. Because fighting your demons isn't about throwing punches or raising your voice. It's about questioning every limitation you've accepted. It's about challenging every kind. It's about examining every fear that's become familiar. Your demons have developed sophisticated strategies over the years. They've learned to disguise fear as wisdom. They've mastered the art of presenting comfort zones as safe havens. They've become experts at making excuses sound like valid reasons. But today, we're going to expose these strategies for what they really are. Every single person who has ever achieved something meaningful that's faced the exact same demons you're facing right now. The only difference is they learned to recognize the demon's voice for what it was. A lie masquerading as protection. When you wake up in the morning and that voice tells you just 5 more minutes, that's not your body needing rest. That's your demon protecting your comfort zone. When you're about to speak up in a meeting and that voice says someone else will probably say it, that's not humility. That's your demon protecting you from potential judgment. When you're ready to start that business and that voice says the market is too saturated, that's not market analysis. That's your demon protecting you from potential failure. That's the great deception. Your demons claim to protect you, but what they're really doing is imprisoning you. They're building walls and calling them shields. They're digging trenches and calling them shelters. They're creating limitations and calling them boundaries. What's this protection cost you? How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers because your demons convinced you that you weren't ready? How many relationships have remained surface level because your demons convinced you that vulnerability was dangerous? How many dreams have you buried because your demons convinced you that they were unrealistic? The price of protection is always progress. Every time you let your demons protect you from potential pain, you're also letting them protect you from potential growth. Every time you let them shield you from possible failure, you're also letting them shield you from possible success. Did you demons understand something crucial about human nature? We're more motivated by the fear of loss than the possibility of gain. They use this against you. They make the familiar pain of staying the same feel less threatening than the unfamiliar pain of growth. They know limitations feel safer than the unknown possibility. But here's what's fascinating. Your demons can only use your past experiences against you. They can't create new fears. They can only recycle old ones. They can only project your future. Think about that. Every time your demons tell you what you can't do, they're using outdated information. They're using who you were to define who you can become. It's like trying to predict tomorrow's weather using last year's forecast. It's like trying to navigate today's streets using an outdated map. It's like trying to solve today's problems with yesterday's understanding. Your demons are stuck in your past, but you don't have to be. Your demons have been treating your comfort zone like it's your safe zone. But let me tell you something, your comfort zone is not your safe zone. It's your familiar zone. And there's a world of difference between what's familiar and what's safe. Of course, staying in a job you hate is familiar. But is it safe for your dreams? Keeping your ideas to yourself is familiar. But is it safe for your potential? Avoiding difficult conversations is familiar. The greatest tragedy in life isn't failing. It's succeeding at things that don't really matter. Your demons know this. That's why they'll let you succeed at small things, at safe things, at things that don't threaten their control over you. They'll let you take pride in organizing your desk while your business idea collects dust. They'll let you feel accomplished about cleaning your garage while your book remains unwritten. They let you feel productive about answering emails while your real purpose remains unexplored. But today, we're changing the rules of engagement. Today, we're not just fighting our demons. We're exposing them. We're pulling back the curtain and seeing them for what they really are. Think about a thermostat for a moment. Its job is to maintain a certain temperature. When things get too hot, it cools them down. When things get too cold, it warms them up. Your demons work the same. When you start to rise above your familiar level of success, they kick in to bring you back down. When you start to push beyond your familiar level of confidence, they activate to pull you back. But unlike a thermostat, which serves a useful purpose, your demons are maintaining a temperature that's too cold for your dreams, too cool for your potential, too warm for your purpose. They're keeping you comfortable at a temperature that's slowly freezing your possibilities. This is where real courage comes in. Courage isn't about not feeling fear. It's about feeling the fear and recognizing it as your demon's response to your growth. Courage isn't about not having doubts. It's about recognizing those doubts as your demons protest against your evolution. Courage isn't about not hearing the voice of your demons. It's about hearing that voice and choosing not to let it dictate your decisions. Your demons want you to believe that you need to feel ready before you can start. That you need to feel confident before you can speak up. That you need to feel certain before you can move forward. But that's another lie. You don't need to feel ready. You need to start. You don't need to feel confident. You need to contribute. You don't need to feel certain. You need to take action. Look at your hands for a moment. These hands are capable of creating things that have never existed before. Look at your mind. This mind is capable of solving problems that have never been solved before. Look at your heart. This heart is capable of loving ways that have never been expressed before. But your demons want you to focus on what these hands have dropped in the past. What this mind has confused before. What this heart has lost before. Your demons aren't your enemies because they want to hurt you. They're your enemies because they want to keep you the same. They're not trying to make you fail. They're trying to keep you from changing. They're not trying to make you miserable. They're trying to keep you predictable. There's something powerful that happens when you truly understand that your demons aren't external forces. They're internal conversations. They're not fate. They're feedback. They're not your destiny. And the beautiful thing about a dialogue is that you can change it. You can challenge it. You can choose to have a different conversation. Your demons have been speaking to you in absolutes. They say never when they mean you haven't yet. They say impossible when they mean uncomfortable. They say you can't when they mean you haven't before. But life doesn't speak in absolutes. Life speaks in possibilities, in potentials, in opportunities. This thing profound with you. Every single person who has ever broken through their limitations had to first break through their demon's narrative. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary had to first challenge their demon's definition of what was possible for them. Think about a seed for a moment. When it's planted in the ground, it's surrounded by darkness. It's pressed in by dirt. It's challenged by the weight above it. The seed doesn't fight the darkness. It grows through it. It doesn't resent the pressure. It uses it. It doesn't curse the weight. It builds strength against it. Your current situation, your current limitations, your current fears, they're not your permanent reality. They're your soil. They're not meant to bury you. They're meant to grow you. But your demons want you to see the dirt as your destiny. They want you to mistake the darkness for your destination. Every morning, when you wake up, your demons wake up with you. They've got their agenda planned. They know exactly what buttons to push to keep you small, to keep you safe, to keep you stuck. They know afternoon habits of procrastination. They know your evening ritual. What if you decided to change the routine? What if you decided to write a new script? What if, just for today, you decided to question every limitation your demons present? When your demon says you're too old to start, ask it according to whom? When it says you're not qualified enough, ask it by whose standards? When it says you're going to fail, ask it, and what if I succeed? You see, your demons hate questions. They prefer statements. They want to make declarations about your limitations, not have discussions about your possibilities. They want to tell you who you are, not explore who you could become. But here's the truth that will shake your demons to their core. You are not who you are because of your demons. You are who you are despite them. Every achievement you've ever had, you achieved while carrying these demons. Every step forward you've ever taken, you took while hearing their protests. Every success you've ever experienced, you experienced while feeling their resistance. Think about that for a moment. You've never been demon-free. You've never had a moment where they weren't there, whispering their doubts, planting their fears, spreading their limitations, and yet, here you are. You've survived every single day they said you couldn't handle. You've grown through every situation they said would break you. You've become more than they said was possible for you. And that's not just survival. That's evidence. Evidence that you are stronger than your demons want you to believe. Evidence that you are more capable than their narrative suggests. Evidence that their power over you is not absolute. Your demons have been using your past failures as evidence of your future limitations. But what if we turned that around? What if we used your past successes, no matter how small, as evidence of your future possibilities? What if every time you proved your demons wrong became ammunition against their future predictions? Remember the time you did something despite being afraid. That's evidence. Remember the time you continued despite wanting to quit. That's evidence. Remember the time you succeeded despite feeling unprepared. That's evidence. Your demons don't want you to collect this evidence. They want you to focus on the times you fail, not the times you got back up. They want you to remember the times you failed. They want you to count your losses, not your lessons. But today we're changing the rules. Today we're going to start gathering evidence of our capability, not our limitation. We're going to start collecting proof of our resilience, not our resignation. We're going to start documenting our courage, not our fear. The demons have been telling you that change is dangerous. But let me ask you something. Is it staying the same when you know you're capable of more, even more dangerous? Isn't letting your dreams die slowly, day by day, even more painful than the discomfort of growth? The most dangerous thing about demons is not their power. It's their patience. They're willing to wait. They're willing to let you postpone your dreams one day at a time. They're willing to let you shrink your goals, one compromise at a time. They're willing to let you dilute your purpose, one excuse at a time. But their patience is also their weakness. Because while they're being patient, you can be persistent. While they're waiting for you to give up, you can be working on your growth. While they're expecting you to surrender, you can be strengthening your resolve. You see, fighting your demons isn't about winning every battle. It's about staying in the fight. It's not about never feeling fear. It's about feeling the fear and recognizing it as your demon's response to your potential. It's not about never having doubts. It's about having doubts and recognizing them as your demon's protest against your progress. Your demons want you to believe that transformation happens in one big moment, one decisive battle, one final victory. But that's not how real change works. Real change happens in small moments, daily decisions, consistent choices. It happens when you choose to question one limiting belief, challenge one negative thought, take one brave action. Every breakthrough begins with a breakdown of old beliefs. Every transformation starts with a disruption of comfortable patterns. Every victory over your demons begins with the courage to look them in the eye and question their authority over your life. Your demons have been feeding you a steady diet of what ifs. What if you fail? What if people judge you? What if it doesn't work out? But they've been careful to only feed you the negative what ifs. They never ask us, what if you succeed? What if you inspire others? What if it does work out? What if everything you've gone through was preparing you for this moment? You see, your demons are master storytellers. They've written a narrative about who you are, what you're capable of, and what you deserve. They've crafted this story using the ink of your past failures, the paper of your present fears, and the binding of your future anxieties. But here's what they don't want you to know. You can write a new story. Every time you've said, I'll try again tomorrow, your demons have celebrated because they know that tomorrow's their territory. They own tomorrow. They control it. They fill it with the same fears. But they don't own now. They don't control this moment. They can't fill the present with anything you don't allow. Think about water. When water meets an obstacle, it doesn't stop. It doesn't argue with the obstacle. It doesn't try to break through it head on. It finds another way. It flows around, over, under. Keeps moving. Your demons want you to believe that obstacles are stop signs. But what if they're actually direction signs? What if they're not telling you to stop, but showing you where to flow? Your demons have convinced you that comfort is the goal. But comfort is not the goal. Growth is. Comfort is not the destination. Fulfillment is. Comfort is not the path. Purpose is. Your demons offer you the comfort of familiar pain instead of the discomfort of unfamiliar growth. They offer you the safety of known limitations instead of the uncertainty of unknown possibilities. Let me tell you something powerful. Uncertainty is the price of possibility. Discomfort is not your enemy. Discomfort is the cost of growth. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is the tax on potential. Your demons have been using your fear of judgment as a leash. They've been using your fear of failure as a cage. They've been using your fear of the unknown as chains. But what if judgment is just evidence that you're doing something noteworthy? What if failure is just feedback that you're pushing your boundaries? What if the unknown is just space for your possibilities? Look at your life right now. Look at all the things you've survived. Look at all the challenges you've overcome. Look at all the times you kept going when your demons said you couldn't. That's not just history. That's not just your past. That's proof. Proof that you're stronger than your demons want you to believe. Proof that you're more resilient than their narrative suggests. Proof that their power over you is borrowed, not owned. Your demons want you to believe that your past defines your future. But your past only defines your future if you give it that power. Your past experiences are meant to be stepping stones, not anchors. They're meant to be lessons, not limitations. They're meant to be wisdom, not warning. Every time you faced a challenge and survived, you've proven your demons wrong. Every time you've been afraid and acted anyway, you've weakened their grip. Every time you failed and got back up, you've challenged their narrative. The deep way into success. They fear your realization. They fear the moment you realize that their power comes from your permission. They fear the moment you understand that their authority comes from your agreement. They fear the moment you discover that their control is an illusion maintained by your compliance. Think about a shadow for a moment. A shadow can look enormous, intimidating, overwhelming. But what happens when you turn to face the light? The shadow falls behind you. It doesn't disappear, but it's no longer in your way. It's no longer blocking your path. It's no longer controlling your direction. Your demons are like shadows. They seem biggest when you're looking away from your light, away from your purpose, away from your potential. But the moment you turn toward your light, your dreams, your purpose, your possibilities, they don't disappear, but they lose their power to direct you. The greatest power your demons have is not their ability to stop you. It's their ability to convince you to stop yourself. They can't actually prevent you from taking action. They can't actually block your path. They can only convince you that the path is blocked. But today, something is different. Today, you're seeing these demons for what they really are. Today, you're recognizing their whispers as suggestions, not commands. Today, you're understanding their fears as feedback, not facts. Today, you're realizing that their power has always been borrowed from your belief in them. Your demons have been using your desire for certainty as a weapon against you. They've been using your need for guarantees as a barrier to your growth. They've been using your wish for perfect conditions as an excuse for inaction. But life doesn't offer certainty. Growth doesn't come with guarantees. Change doesn't wait for perfect conditions. What if just for today, you decided to be more committed to your growth and to your comfort? What if you decided to be more dedicated to your possibilities than to your fears? What if you decided to be more loyal to your dreams than to your demons? In the moment you decide to face your demons is the moment your life begins to change. Not because the demons disappear, but because you stop disappearing. Not because the fear vanishes, but because you stop vanishing in the face of fear. Your demons have been teaching you to live life in reverse. They've convinced you that you need to feel confident before you can act, that you need to feel ready before you can start, that you need to feel fearless before you can move forward. But that's not how life works. You don't feel confident first and then act. You act and then feel confident. You don't feel ready first and then start. You start and then feel ready. Think about how many dreams are buried in the graveyard of someday. Think about how many ideas are locked in the prison of when the time is right. Your demons love these places. They're the architects of someday, the guards of the right time, the wardens of when I'm ready. But here's the truth that will shake the foundation of your demon's fortress. The time is never right. You make it right. You're never ready, you become ready. You never feel completely confident. You build confidence through action. Those insidious lie your demons tell you is that you have time. Time to start later. Time to change tomorrow. Time to act someday. But time isn't a resource to be saved. And every moment you spend listening to your demons is a moment you're not investing in your destiny. Your demons have been using your fear of pain to keep you from your path of purpose. But what they don't want you to realize is that there are two types of pain in life. The pain of growth and the pain of regret. The pain of growth is temporary. It's the discomfort of expanding beyond your current limitations. The pain of regret is permanent. It's the age of knowing you could have, but didn't. From this day forward, let every whisper of doubt from your demons become a reminder of your strength. Let every suggestion of limitation become an invitation to expand. Let every prediction of failure become a prophecy of perseverance. You are not your demon's victim. You are your destiny's architect. You are not your fear's prisoner. You are your future's pioneer. You are not your doubt's captive. Because the battle with your demons isn't won in a single moment. It's won in multiple moments, daily choices, consistent decisions. It's won every time you choose action over anxiety, progress over perfection, movement over meditation. The time is now. Not because it's perfect, but because it's present. Not because it's easy, but because it's essential. Not because you're ready, but because you're willing. Your demons have had their say. Now it's time for you to have yours. They've written your past story. Now it's time for you to write your future story. They've defined your old limits. Now it's time for you to define your new possibilities. Rise up. Step forward. Break through. Your demons don't get to have the final word in your story. You do. Make it count. Make it matter.